In a world where people are constantly looking for alternatives for their travel, new businesses have emerged on the market. It's the case of Uber. What is Uber? Uber is an American international transportation network company. How does it work? The whole process is arranged through an app on the smartphone. This makes it a customer-to-customer business. Many people prefer using Uber versus a regular taxi, primarily for the price. It costs roughly two-thirds of the price of a regular taxi. Uber was founded in March 2009. However, the business didn't launch its app until early 2010. Currently, it is in 58 countries and over 300 cities in the world. It just entered Glasgow. A new company like Uber has to plan its own steady future to make good decisions today. What will be the future of Uber in 2030? We can answer that question by doing a pestle analysis on Uber. We are focusing on Uber's impacts on Glasgow's taxi industry in 2030. Following the pestle analysis, we clustered our driving forces. This resulted in 6 clusters: educational, environmental, laws, economics, laws affecting people, and social. Using our clusters, we found that our 2 main factors for Uber are technology and household income. Our main factor is technology. A change in technology can lead to a change in payment methods, a change in communication methods, and a change in the car industry, as more features can be available when purchasing a car. A change in the car industry can also lead to a change in car regulations. The government might pass laws and make it mandatory to install safety features like a rear camera. A change in the car industry can lead to a change in the car price. The price can either decrease or increase as more features are added. Features such as safety or ones for leisure. For example, the ability to use the vehicle as a hotspot for internet. A change in car prices could lead to a change in public transport, as more people might be able to afford to purchase their own car or might find it cheaper to take public transport. With our technology, people might choose to shy away from technology and not use it, so it will be more obsolete in our lives. The other opinion is that it will continue to change and it becomes even more significant in our lives. Our second main factor is disposable income. It starts with a change in household disposable income. This leads to a change in living conditions, as people are looking for different amenities if they have more disposable income versus less. A change in household income also leads to a change in the car industry, since people have different needs when looking into the affordability of a vehicle. The change in the car industry leads to a change in car prices, as consumers demand a more affordable vehicle. As the car prices change, then affordability of them can change for better or for worse. For this driving force, we have less disposable income due to bills or unexpected expenses, or people have a lot of disposable income for extras, such as being able to afford to take a taxi, go to movies, or go out for dinner.
From these 2 main factors, technology and disposable income, we can create 4 scenarios. The first is the golden age. This is where people shy away from technology but have an increase in disposable income. Our second scenario is the 1990s futuristic. In this scenario, people embrace technology and they also have an increase in disposable income. Our third scenario is the dot-com bubble. People embrace technology, but they have less disposable income in this scenario. Our final scenario is the Great Depression. This is where people shy away from technology and they have less disposable income. In our first scenario, people shy away from technology and increase their disposable income. This is the golden age.
What would happen to Uber in this scenario? People are more aware of the issues surrounding technological security and potential surveillance being carried out by the security service or other unauthorized individuals. Therefore, less people are inclined to use technology in their lives or to use applications that require the input of private and sensitive information such as banking and personal details. An increase in disposable income has led to people purchasing more expensive goods such as vehicles and other long-term assets such as owning more than one home. As well as the taxi industry in Glasgow, this will lead to less people using this type of transport, as people are more inclined to drive their own cars for convenience. People might also be more likely to pay with cash instead of a card due to the chance of identity theft associated with using a credit or debit card.
In the second scenario, the 1990s futuristic, more people embrace technology and have an increase in their disposable income.
What would happen to Uber with this scenario? In this scenario, technology reaches a point where driverless cars are available. Since there is an increase in the disposable income, people are willing to invest in this technology. More people will also have access to smartphones and use apps for purchasing products or services. There will be a noticeable increase in cashless payment methods. For example, people are more likely to use Apple Pay. Also, more companies will look into invest in technology in order to capture a slice of this growing market. Uber might look into purchasing driverless cars to increase their profit margin. Since the taxi industry are typically people who have purchased their own license and run their own driving service through another company, the use of taxis could decrease as people might prefer the lower cost of Uber.
In our dot-com crisis scenario, people embrace technology, but they have less disposable income.
What would happen to Uber with this scenario? Due to the decreased disposable income as a result of the increase in household bills, such as utilities and groceries, people are looking for more than one source of employment in order to increase their disposable income. There are noticeable technological advances. However, these have not been so widely adopted and used by people due to their lack of disposable income and not being able to afford this new technology. People will be using cheaper public transport methods or choosing to walk in order to save money. In this scenario, there might be more people available and willing to be drivers than needed. Those who need to call a taxi for a specific reason, for example, needing to take groceries home, will prefer to use Uber since they are more affordable. However, overall, people will be using public transportation for the cost.
And in our final scenario, the Great Depression, people are shying away from technology and they have less disposable income.
What would happen to Uber in this scenario? With a considerable decrease in disposable income due to rising costs, people are less likely to invest in smartphone technology. This reluctance to use technological devices also stems from the increased threat of cyber attacks on individuals. A decrease in disposable income has also meant that people are considering all options when making decisions relating to their expenses. If people are less likely to use technology such as a smartphone, they might prefer to return to a basic cell phone. Uber is not likely to succeed unless they make drastic changes since their communication between customers is through the app. People are also more likely to take cheaper forms of public transportation, such as a bus or the tube. Should I walk? Should I take the bus? Should I take my own car? Should I call a taxi? Should I call Uber? The stakeholders in Uber future are Uber, the government, the customers, and the investors. In scenario 1, there is more disposable income and people shy away from technology. Uber risks losing business as the only form of communication between the passenger and driver is through the Uber app. While people will have more money available to spend, they might choose to purchase their own vehicles. Uber does not succeed in this scenario unless they change their business model to accommodate the public. Since the public is using more public transportation, therefore, the investors will be making less or no money from their investment. In the second scenario, people embrace technology and have an increase in disposable income. In this scenario, people are more likely to purchase their own vehicles and have the latest cell phone. Uber will continue to succeed as they are a cheaper method of transportation in comparison to a taxi. The government might look into additional regulation for public transportation. Customers will use Uber as a cheaper alternative for taxis if they do not use their own car. Investors will continue to make a profit from their investment. The third scenario involves an embrace of technology and a decrease of disposable income. In this scenario, Uber has a good chance of success since people are more likely to use the required app for booking rides, and if they need to take a taxi, they will be more likely to use Uber since it's approximately 2/3 the price. The government might regulate Uber to regulate. The investors will also get a return since Uber will continue to be successful. In the last scenario, there is a decrease in disposable income and people shy away from technology. In this scenario, Uber does not succeed as people do not have the money to afford taxis and they do not use technology. The government will most likely not legislate Uber or make laws for them. Investors will not make money since the public is not using Uber. Uber surely is a promising company. We don't know what the future will be, but we can only wish Uber to be successful.
Okay, you guys can go whenever.
Yay!
Get in, loser! We're going shopping!
This is where he stalls out. We're good, you're good.
Okay, fine. Yeah, we did.